All right, guys, so we've got a detailed look and breakdown on these potential bad boys right here. This, my friends, is Aaron Gordon's fourth signature sneaker with 361. It's the AG4. And I must say, while the insoles are not fantastic, they're cute as
I was gonna say they're super cute.
Dude, this is one of the coolest things I've seen in a minute. Hey, what's good, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and review on the 361 AG4. And yes, we did skip the AG3. I didn't love those. And then they made like a good one for him that he wore in the playoffs as he won his first ring. Congratulations. I really like that shoe, but by the time that I saw that they were available, things had already come and passed, and I was like, we'll just move it to the next one. So here we are. But these guys right here, like I was saying, are created by a brand called 361. The shoe has some things that I absolutely love in it. There's some things that I question a little bit, but I also wonder if maybe there's a pro version coming soon, because they've been doing that lately. Or not lately, they've been doing that since the first one. The first one's still my favorite, but this one, it looks really cool. I don't know if it's just the colors. The colors might be blinding me, but it's got that Chicago vibe. I really like it.
I like it a lot.
But either way, look at that outsole, man. The outsole is crazy. It is herringbone, and it's done up in sort of a radial fashion. Reminds me a little bit of the Air Jordan 34, actually, if we're, comparing it to Jordans and Chicago and things like that. However, there is something kind of weird about it, and that's these two channels right here. So I don't know how well they're gonna, can you see them in the camera?
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
But either way, we've got these two channels right there with kind of a potted section. These outside areas are a little bit more protruding, I guess you can say, or they're like the main body of the outsole. And then this guy right here in the middle is recessed just a little bit, but when you put your pressure on it, it definitely bows down and it touches the floor. It's an interesting setup. We've seen this sometimes, but not a lot. It's not like something we see often. And typically when we do see it often, it's usually really firm. So it's there to help kind of alleviate some pressure. This though is attached to a really soft foam. And so you can actually bend your fingers in there. So that's the only thing where I don't know if this is going to be the best version of this shoe. Hopefully there's a pro version that's a little bit more sturdy, which again, I guess I'll just talk about it now.
Do it.
In addition to the outsole, which again looks awesome, we have a midfoot shank right there. It's not carbon fiber. It almost feels like it's 3D printed, but it's kind of like a TPU and everything. And I could still twist the shoe, not completely, but I could twist it a little bit. So that's the only thing that I kind of am a little bit concerned with, is that the bottoms are a little soft and that you can twist just enough in that midfoot area. So I'm hoping that they update that with maybe a firmer rubber as well as a carbon fiber shank. I think that something like carbon fiber or even just a stronger P-backs or TPU would do really well in this situation. Outside of that though, everything is pretty good. I do have one other complaint, but I'll talk about that in a moment. It's not really a complaint, it's just a preference. Same thing, I guess. But either way, the cushion feels fantastic. They have too many names for stuff. Everything's named. So we've got Quick Tech, right? And then we have Quick Foam, Quick Balance, Quick Lock. They have a thing for quick. The Quick Foam setup is a little bit different than all of the setups in the past. This one feels way lighter. It also doesn't look the same either. It almost looks more like a Boost, even though it's not. It doesn't feel as dense or as heavy, but it does feel just as plush and bouncy. So you're gonna get a lot of responsiveness out of that. One of the things that I actually like about Gordon's shoes is that even though he's a bigger athlete, his shoes feel great even if you're a smaller guy like myself. So this is one of those shoes that should be great for all positions and players. Again, maybe wait for a pro version if you do need extra torsional support. That's gonna be my own main caveat to the whole thing or the whole package at this point. Now the Quick Foam feels awesome underfoot, as does the insole. Even though they're not the best insole ever, they are an ortholite style, even though it's not technically ortholite, but they are fairly thick and they actually feel kind of dense and everything. So they feel really good underfoot, especially mixed with that Quick Foam. However, the graphic on here is just the coolest shit ever. This is not just hey, that's cute, let's use it. You know what I mean? This was an actual note that he made in grade school. Can't remember exactly when. I want to say it was kindergarten, but I could be completely wrong. I read the press release a long time ago. But basically it says, someday I'll be a pro basketball player, and then it's just signed Aaron, and he drew himself dunking the ball. I mean,
it's all so cute.
Look, man, when you're that small, you don't know how tall you're gonna grow. Clearly, I thought I was gonna be a pro player too, and that didn't happen. But he is, and I think that it's just awesome that he was able to speak that into existence, really work on his craft, cultivate his passion for the game, and then become a pro athlete.
This is what dreams are made of.
At not just the highest level, but at a championship level. I mean, come on, man. Oh, and he's a hometown guy too. He's from where we're from in the Bay Area. So again, major kudos, I'm happy for you. Now the upper is that one thing that it's obviously not my personal preference. I think that they've done it really well in the past, mostly with the first model. This guy is kind of halfway there. So the white textile that you see is really nice feeling. I think that it's dope, even though I don't love textiles and everything, but this particular version, it feels good, but it also feels supportive. It doesn't look exactly like a Jordan, you know what I mean? But it reminds me a little bit of like Leno weave with some additional details and stitching. I actually really like this weird little squiggly right there on the toe. I know that it's not like a major point of emphasis or a true performance feature, but I think it looks cool. But the one part about it that I just don't really love is the actual TPU weld that they use right here, the black portion. It has a weird like, kind of like popping to it, you know what I mean? I don't know if you can hear that very well, but it's just a little thicker than the stuff that they used on the original versions of the shoes. And by original versions, I mean the first versions, like the AG1 and the 2 and so on. So yeah, it's a little bit thicker. It's going to be a little bit stronger. So again, for somebody maybe his size, it's going to be perfect. For somebody my size, I don't really like that type of feeling on my foot. Like it's a little distracting when you're running around. That was a close one.
Sorry. I'm actually gonna excuse myself
Okay.
because I'm sweating, trying not to interrupt you.
So you want me just to keep going?
Keep going, and I'm gonna turn everything off.
So I guess it's just me and you then.
Let's get dangerous.
So yeah, the materials are just not all the way my thing, but I do think that they're going to cater towards a lot of different people, especially those of you guys that want something that's going to be durable and strong. This kind of setup really doesn't get any better than this, unless maybe you use something like foam posit, but then you might as well play in some boots. Now what they're calling their quick lock system is basically just their lacing system. So that's the one thing that I will say that is kind of, I don't want to call it annoying, but like it's a little distracting when everything is named something. Like the lacing system doesn't necessarily need to be named that, especially when we've seen lacing like this. This is an internal lacing system. We've seen this all the way back in the 90s with shoes like the Air Jordan 13 and 14 and 15, maybe the 16 too. Can't remember, the shroud covered them, so it's not like at the forefront of my mind. But anyways, what I'm saying is that plenty of shoes have used a lacing system just like this, and it works great because it being internal, it means that all of those nylon cables that the laces are pulled through are gonna really like suck your foot down and get you closer to the footbed. So that's exactly what it's supposed to be there for. The top two eyelets are standard. They're just regular holes punched through there, and it honestly just feels really good. So I really like the way that everything fits and feels underfoot especially. So I do believe that this is a great shoe. If you can get them for a good price, then go for it. Speaking of which, I believe that these are available exclusively over at kickscrew.com. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure. Either way, we'll leave the link down below in the description box. That should send you to wherever they're retailing at, just in case you are interested in grabbing them. Now the rear of the shoe is quite possibly my favorite, especially from a performance or a fit standpoint, where you have this molded heel, but it's also moving away from your foot at the Achilles and ankle area, so it's not going to like rub and chafe. So I think that's a good move. You got all the security and lockdown that you would typically have, but instead of it rolling into your foot, it's rolling away from your foot after the security part. So I really dig that. On top of that, that big beefy red thing that you see right there, it's kind of like Adidas's cat tongue stuff, where it's supposed to make it easy to get on, but not easy to slip off your foot. I don't know if that's going to work because it does feel a little bit different, but for all I know, it could just be some added protection, just in case things do bump up against your Achilles. It's not completely shredding them.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
But either way, I think it's a good move. I think that this is the way to go, especially when we're getting lighter and lower and thinner materials like this, making sure that everything fits properly and that you keep the things that are not good for you away from you. It's solid. Now, as far as the fit is concerned, they do fit true to size. However, the internal kind of like tongue area or the label and everything like that, it does say something a little bit weird. So I'm going to get into that right now. Inside it says US size 9, which is my typical size. So that's exactly what I would order. If you're ordering from a place that is listing them in US sizes, go with that size. But the Euro size does say 43, and typically in all of my other sizes, like these guys right here, these are a Euro 42.5, size 9 though US. So if you're looking at just your Euro size, maybe go to that next like full size up, or not full size. So just keep that in mind, but if you can, just order based off of your US size if possible. And I think that most people should be good to go. And that pretty much takes care of it for us. This is again the 361 AG4, Aaron Gordon's 4th signature shoe. Sound off below and let us know what you think about them in the comment section. Do you like these? Do you not? Have you played in the previous models? If you have, which one's your favorite? I still really love the one, but these ones might be a close second, especially if there is going to be a pro model, or a pro version, which is basically just going to be a beefed up version of these. But again, I would love to know your guys' thoughts, so please sound off below. Let us know. We will catch you guys in the next one. So until then, have a good one.